2.
Great.
Okay. Ready?
Who are you?
Hey guys, I am Ellie. I'm a goer in Thailand, and let's go look at my apartment. Ready? Okay. So usually you can either walk through the parking garage, but there's a garden up here, so I'm going to take you guys through there. Because Bangkok is a massive city, it does not have very many green spaces. Several beautiful parks, but they're kind of far away from my home, so I like having grass near my place. I tripped and fell down these stairs and twisted both of my ankles. My first 2 weeks here. So this is the garden. This was honestly like the selling point for this apartment, because something that I was praying for, it might not look like much. It's kind of swampy right now. It's been raining. But when I was praying about coming to Thailand, I felt really unsure about coming to such a big city. And something that I prayed was that God would be preparing a garden for us. And then they literally have a garden, so God knew what he was doing. There are other foreigners who live here, as well as Thai people, even like whole families. So I live by myself. I'm on the 12th floor, which is really nice. But there are also like families, because there are 3-bedroom condos here too. So, because then you guys can get the
That's a wide shot.
commercials. I have some of these memorized because I hear them every single day. That's how I impress people who come and visit me. This one usually says, select an EV, choose BYD. Yeah.
How much is that?
A lot.
49,000 baht?
Yeah.
Is that like really cheap?
I don't know, too much for me. 49,000 baht, multiply it by 3, take away 2 zeros. Isn't that how you do it? Welcome to the 12th floor. Penthouse. I got a fancy lock because I locked myself out of my apartment like 2 times in 1 week. And this is my place. Yay! Here, go ahead and come in. In Thailand, you take your shoes off. So I obviously have a lot of shoes. So I have a very small place. It's technically a 1-bedroom and 1 bathroom, but I like that it kind of feels like a studio because I've got this like big, massive door here. But come and see the view. This is the most exciting part. So from my bedroom, I have a view of the BTS when it goes by, as well as these massive condos over here. When I'm here, I kind of feel like I'm not on the 12th floor, but yeah, welcome to city life.
What's the BTS?
Oh, the BTS is about a 15-minute walk away from my apartment, and it's how I get to school every single day. Oh, there it is. It's how I get to school every single day. It's the SkyTrain system that goes through pretty much all of Bangkok. And so when you live next to the BTS, pretty much every place is accessible to you. And it's not too expensive, maybe like $2 tops in order to go from my place to into the city. But yeah. So coming and moving to Bangkok was my first time ever living alone. I've always lived with roommates. I went to boarding school when I was in high school, and so I always had roommates there, and then in college too. So that was definitely a big point of anxiety, and especially my first couple of weeks and months. I've been here 6 months, and it was really hard because I'd come home and I wouldn't have anybody to process with about all the things that are happening in my life, everything that's new, everything that's different. So I actually started playing guitar, and that's been a huge part of me just finding how God has prepared this place to be for me and him. And even though I live alone, it's forced me into definitely like deeper communion with Jesus and just spending more time with him and talking with him about all the things that go on in my life because nobody else is here. But let me see. Culturally, it is kind of normal for young professionals in Bangkok to live on their own if they're not living with their family. And so even like finding roommates and things like that isn't really something that's super easy to do when you first come. And so even though it's kind of like you're thrown in the fire a little bit, living on your own, moving to a big city for the first time, there are definitely some benefits to it and also some cultural reasons why this is the way that this is the way we do it. So yeah, I'm trying to think of I also keep a lot of plants because that makes me feel like I'm bringing the nature to me, even if I'm living in an urban jungle. So that's been really sweet. It makes this place definitely feel more like home. I also have some cute, souvenirs and things from home that I brought, whether like books. I brought all of the journals that I've ever written in, as well as like even just dishes from home that make me feel from the very beginning like this place wasn't just a place that I moved into and wasn't mine, but that, yeah, truly is a home in a sense. I don't know if you want to see. This is like kind of a junk cabinet for me, but it has all of these special things. So these are pretty much all of the journals that I've written in my life, and as well as some that I keep on my bed over here that I'm like diving back into right now because I need reminders of why I'm here. I need to know like how has God spoken in the past to bring me to this point, and how do I need to remind myself of those truths in times of difficulty and hardship. So yeah, bringing my journals with me has been, it's similar to the rocks of remembrance that the nation of Israel built up when God brought them victory when they thought that they had no way out. The journals are kind of like my rocks of remembrance, so I can look back and see like, oh, these are Ebenezer's. These are truths that God's spoken to me in the past, even if I'm not hearing him in the same way now. I know that he's still the same God and that he's going to bring me through these floodwaters, even though it feels impossible. So these journals are definitely really important for me. And I lived in Kenya before. I was a missionary kid, and we couldn't get mail, but you can get mail here. And so that's been a huge encouragement, like getting notes from my parents and stuff. This is a Trader Joe's card. She believed she could, sushi did. So funny. And that's just been, makes me feel like I'm not so disconnected from the people that I love back home. And I also have some things from like friends that I've made here. So this painting right here was painted by my friend Ginger. And she was my first friend that I had at language school here. She's from Taiwan, and we were learning Thai together and had so many conversations about Jesus. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting to come here and that almost like my ministry would be on pause until I learned Thai, and then I would be able to share the gospel with Thai people. But God was showing me from literally the second week that he wanted me to shine Jesus' light, even to the people who were learning Thai with me. So our last night together before she moved back to Taiwan, she and I went to a cafe and painted, and so this is what she painted for me. I love Ginger. I miss her a lot. And I pray that Jesus would continue to grow her curiosity about him, because she was asking me about, like, the Trinity. So cool. Like, how do you explain to somebody what the Trinity is when they have not a lot of English and very little knowledge?
What is this?
And this is my motorcycle helmet, because when I'm not riding the BTS, I am riding on the back of motorcycle taxis, which might be one of my favorite things about living in Bangkok. It's like under $2 to get a motorcycle taxi pretty much anywhere. And this is so that my parents know that I am taking my safety seriously, because that kind of stresses them out. But yeah. Ooh. I also have a cute little deck that I use for laundry and nothing else because it is very small. But right here I have a nice little washing machine, so I don't have to leave my apartment and go to a laundromat or anything to do my laundry. I just do it right here, and it works really well. I don't have any room to dry my clothes outside. I could probably figure that out, but instead I just use this drying rack right here, and I put it up inside of my apartment, and I have a special detergent that doesn't let your clothes get mildewy when you dry them inside. So yeah, Thailand's fancy like that. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of my commute that I take every single day to school, and pretty much whenever I want to get anywhere, because we're gonna go to the BTS. So yeah, in Thai, when you are inviting people to go somewhere with you, you say "pa," which means let's go. So "pa." I'm gonna put my keys. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but right up there is a little bit of a temple. So I do live close to a temple in this area, and when you're on the roof and you look down, you can actually see where the monks live. And one day I walked by, and I think it was laundry day, because all of them had their orange robes like hanging on all of their porches to dry. So pretty fascinating. That's a huge part of Thai culture, is obviously monks, but definitely Buddhism. As we walk, you'll see shrines, which we call spirit houses. And those are on pretty much like every building corner, major street corners, because they believe that those spirits will protect the house. So on the days that I'm running late, there's motorcycle guys that hang out right here, and they will take me on a short motorcycle tour or a short motorcycle ride for like 20 baht, which is less than $1, to the BTS station, so I don't have to walk. Yeah. Today we're walking though because it's a beautiful day. We've got some wind so that it doesn't feel so hot. That's something about Thailand, is that you'll hear it is pretty steamy here. The humidity is high. It's very sunny, especially during the hot season. But all I can say is you get used to it, because I'm here wearing like all black and it's probably over 80 degrees right now. So in this shop right here, there's a lady who sells clothes, and I don't know if she's here or not. It says it's open. I don't think that she's here right now, but she and I became friends when I stopped by one time and told her I was learning Thai. And now if she's in there and she sees me, she calls me over and we chat for a little bit in Thai. She's always inviting me to her son's like music performances and stuff, which is really cute. Something that we are taught in orientation is that Buddhism is very cultural. I'm scared for you, sorry. Buddhism is very central to Thai culture. A phrase that they use is, to be Thai is to be Buddhist, and to be Buddhist is to be Thai. And obviously I believe that, because I had people telling me that who had lived in Thailand for 6 years. But the first time that I ever saw that was with that lady who owns that dress shop. I was talking with her once, and one of her friends came by, and so the three of us were talking together, and I said that I had to go. I said, oh, I have to go to church. And the other friend of the lady turned to the dress shop owner and said, oh, are you Christian as well? Like, is that how you guys know each other? And the dress shop owner goes, I'm not Christian, I'm Thai. And I don't know, that was a little heartbreaking to hear, because I thought, does she think I'm Christian just because I'm white? That's a lot of the times the perspective that people have. So สวัสดีค่ะเปิดหรือยังยังไม่เปิด He makes the best smoothies. I wish that he was open. เปิดเมื่อไหร่10 นาที Okay. Okay. เจอกันนะคะ So he's gonna be open in 10 minutes, which I think is a little too long to wait, but he makes the most delicious strawberry yogurt smoothies. Sometimes when I'm coming home really late from church, he's open like late into the night selling smoothies and milkshakes and stuff. So sometimes I stop by and get myself a little treat. So right now we're gonna walk by some dispensaries that are right next to my apartment. And that was one of the not most shocking things, but that was a shocking thing that I realized when I moved here, is just how many dispensaries there were. They seem to litter every street corner, kind of like the spirit houses. But it only became legal a couple of years ago, so it's kind of wild that it boomed so quickly. But I don't know, lots of things that you just kind of have to pray about and ask that the Lord sends somebody into those places, because you can't save everyone, you can't help everything. But we're about to get into more of the crowded area of the sidewalk. It's kind of a puzzle every single time you walk down the sidewalk of like, okay, who's gonna go first? Is there an AC dripping on me? Am I gonna run into a pole? So it might be a little hard to film. We're coming up right now on like a motorcycle gang that sometimes says hi to me and sometimes doesn't. They speak Thai and think that I don't understand them, but I can. The restaurants that we're coming up on here always have so much food. The soups are in bags, and this is like grilled chicken, fish, sausages. I've never felt brave enough to try it, but maybe one day I will. And now we're gonna buy some fruit because I'm going to a team meeting later, and usually my team will provide the food, but I like to bring the fruit. My favorite to bring is dragon fruit because mango's not in season right now. I think we'll try a papaya today.ขอโทษค่ะ อันนี้อร่อยไหมคะหวานไหมโอเค เอาอันนี้ อันนี้สีขาวหรือสีแดงขาวโอเคขอบคุณค่ะ โอเคค่ะ ไม่ต้องใส่ถุงใส่อันนี้ขอบคุณค่ะแป๊บนึงนะคะพี่ขอบคุณค่ะโอเค200ขอบคุณค่ะกี่บาทนะลูกจ้า25จ้าลองฟังโน้ตเท่าไหร่อะเนาะไม่มีเบียร์50เลยนะคะต้องเป็นแบบนี้นะมีโอเคไม่เป็นไรขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ Okay, let's go. We got some fruit. She was so sweet. So, in that conversation, I was basically asking her, like, is this fruit delicious? Is it sweet? Is this red dragon fruit or white dragon fruit? That's all stuff that you learn, like, your first week or so. Well, those are all words that you learn your first month in Thailand. So I've been able to say that for the past 5 months that I've lived here. It's a little loud on the street. So sometimes I'll take the skywalk right here. So I'll just go up the stairs and then walk basically over the road because it's less crowded and just I don't have to think about where I'm stepping. But I'm taking you guys this way because the best croissants in Bangkok are right down the street from my apartment. And sometimes I like to take a little detour, walk down the street, and get a croissant on my way to school. In Thai, that's what you call, you say that you want to wet, which basically means like take a stop. So if I say let's wet, it's like, hey, let's stop here. So when you're crossing the street, you bow to people, even when you're like passing people on the street and somebody yields to you, you usually bow to them to show them your appreciation. So, oh, dang, it's closed. They close up when they sell out of pastries, so we'll keep walking until we can get to the skywalk. The croissants in here are like 60 baht, which is around $2, and they're just so delicious. There's nothing like it. My dad, when I told him about these croissants, he joked and said, it's not a very good business model because if the croissants are so good and they sell out so fast, wouldn't you raise the price? But I'm not complaining, so. So right now it's also wet season. This is also something that happens. People drive on the sidewalk. Khop khun kha. เดินผ่านได้ค่ะ So cute. So this right here is a big mall called True Digital Park. It has a lot of food options. I like to come here and study sometimes. But you'll see here on the corner there's a big spirit house that when people are coming on their way to work, they might like why the spirit house and basically make merit because they believe it'll bring some benefit or success to their life. So, yeah. These buses right here have aircon, which is air conditioning. They're awesome. And they will also take you pretty much anywhere in Bangkok. So you can use the BTS like what we're going to do, or you could also take the buses. They just take a little bit longer. Let's go this way. So this right here is True Digital Park. It has a lot of food options, a lot of places to study and stuff. But I just watched a woman Y the spirit house that's right here. Yeah, that's just something that when you first get here, it's a little shocking. But at some point, like, you almost get used to seeing people pay homage to something that can't bring benefit into their life and can only bring harm. Today I went on a field trip with my classmates, and we went to a temple, and I saw my teacher Y the Buddha, and it just hits differently when you see people that you know and you've built relationships with putting their trust in something that's dead. But it's a way of life here. Oh, you can see the rain is coming. Look at how dark the horizon is. So right now we're walking on the Skywalk, which is above Sukhumvit, which is the main road that goes along the BTS line. So we're literally walking underneath the BTS tracks and above the street. And this connects some of the big major stations and is just more convenient for getting into the BTS. But even here, like, there are cultural lessons to learn with where you walk and how long you should maintain eye contact with somebody before breaking it off because it might be seen as impolite. So funny. So rainy season is also huge here. And this carport right here, when it rains, it floods and it's just full of water. A lot of Bangkok is like that, especially when you get into some of the more rural areas where I live. Bangkok is, I think it's technically below sea level, and it's also sinking like 10 centimeters every year or something like that. So crop culture is huge here. One time I was wearing tennis shoes when it was kind of starting to rain outside, and people were so worried about me. I had a friend ask me, like, do you have rain shoes? You know you have to switch your shoes for this season. And I thought that it was just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's wet outside, but seriously, it will flood up to your ankles or your knees in some places, so you've gotta be prepared. I've bought a couple pairs of shoes just in the moment because I need to get from one place to another, and I have no way to do that unless I buy a pair of plastic sandals. When we get on the BTS, I won't really talk because people don't typically talk on the BTS. It's very quiet. You can hear a pin drop. And when you can hear people talking, it's never Thai that you hear. It's always like Chinese or English or something because, again, Thais have this like unspoken understanding that you just don't talk loud on the BTS. It's a way of respecting the people around you and, yeah, keeping it peaceful and steady. Yeah, so we might actually see a lot of students on the BTS because school is getting out. This is an international school. Maybe it's Christian because it says in God we trust, but I don't know. There's, I've started to learn this the more Thais that I get to know, but if you go to an international school as a Thai, it either means that you are wealthy. Here, we'll let these guys pass. If you go to an international school as a Thai, it either means that you are more wealthy because your parents can afford your tuition, or your parents have given up a lot in order for you to be there. International schools is where kids will learn English, and speaking English in Thailand means more opportunities in the future for different careers and stuff like that. So if you go to an international school, people automatically assume that you have more money, especially if you're Thai. But yeah. So, I don't have a Thai bank account, which means that I pay everything in cash. So I have to have a pretty big wallet, but I also need to use my rabbit card to get anywhere on the BTS. So. Rabbit card for me, and because I've lost it a couple of times, I'm a little bit forgetful. Here's one for you too. Because it's always good to have spares. The BTS goes in two directions. We are going in the Keha direction, which is out of town. And then it also takes you into town, which is in the direction of GoCorps. And that's the direction that I usually take in order to go to school every day. That's about like a 30-minute ride on the BTS. This one's gonna be really short. In the mornings on the BTS, it is so crowded. Like, you're touching shoulders with the people around you. And I don't know, it takes some getting used to. At first I felt really claustrophobic, and I didn't know how to stand on the moving train. So sometimes I felt like I was gonna fall down, but I got the hang of it now. So there's that temple that you can see from my apartment as well. Because Bangkok is such a big city, there are also a ton of advertisements. And so that's a way that I have learned about the culture, is just by observing, like, how do they advertise to people? How do they communicate significance to people? Especially the ones further in toward the city. Even the BTS themselves are like decorated with promotions and TV shows and stuff like that. So there's always something to be learning from in this city and in any new culture, really, but especially Bangkok. A lot of people look down on their phones a lot. That was something that I noticed when I first moved here, is that everybody on the BTS, everybody even like walking, had earphones in and was looking down on their phones. And a part of me wonders if it's just a way of numbing all the stimulus that is constantly you're constantly inundated with here, because there are so many sounds and sights and smells. Personally, I can't look at my phone because I have to concentrate on like everything happening around me. It took me a while to feel like I could walk normally down the street because there's so much going on. But
มสุข
Udam Suk, which is the BTS station that we're at right now, is one of my favorites because there's a market literally right at the exit.
Will result in forfeiture of the car, together with any remaining trips. In addition, a fine of not exceeding 20 times the maximum fare will be imposed.
I'm not gonna have us go in there in video, but I've built some pretty cool relationships at the market here with just some girls who make a smoothie that I really like, and have sat with them for hours just talking Thai and getting to know them, to practice, but also to build a relationship. We won't go in there because, I don't know, I don't want them to be thrown off by the camera or anything like that, and to compromise a relationship, but you never know where friendships might pop up and where there might be opportunities for language learning. You do have to get creative though and step out of your comfort zone. That's their shop right there. I almost don't want them to see me. I'm kind of embarrassed. So this market is the Udam Suk market, and they have anything from shoes during the rainy season for me to pick up to fruit, flowers, food. I really enjoy this market, but this area right here, when it rains really hard, it gets flooded. Right now we're going to a donut shop, and it's also a coffee shop, just because I have some work that I need to do, and I have a meeting to go to later, and it doesn't make sense for me to go home before going someplace else because it takes so much to commute through the city. So I spend a lot of my afternoons just sitting in coffee shops with some AC and journaling or writing or reading. Or doing my homework, because I have a lot of Thai homework, especially now that I'm learning how to read and how to write. Thai massages here are also really popular, and it's a language opportunity as well. One day, it was so flooded, like on this street, that I couldn't walk home and I didn't have the shoes to. And so instead I came to this massage place and I paid for a 2-hour massage. And the lady and I just talked about her life in Thai and about my life using Thai, and it was an opportunity for me to practice my language, for me to, I don't know, share a Christian perspective about my life too, and say who God is to me and how he's a part of the way that I live my life. And this is our destination. They have really delicious donuts and coffee. So thank you guys for coming with me on this little adventure.